Hey everybody, it's Josh. This is my second D&D daily video. Really been looking forward to it actually. Got some nice responses from the first one, lots of likes, lots of love. Um, so thanks for doing that if you clicked on it. Or if you didn't even watch it and you just want to support me, love that. Really means a difference. Um, so don't really know what I want to talk about, but I think I'll start. So I noticed while I was making the last video, like I was rolling dice during the video, and I really like the sound of it. I think it sounds kind of neat, rolling on the table, so I thought I would talk about my dice a little bit. So for those who don't know, dice in Dungeons and Dragons are used to kind of randomize things. They deal with things that have to do with chance and luck, where your character is taking a risk in some way, and they'll have like a natural ability, such as like maybe how charming they are, or not, as it happens, and that will affect the outcome of the thing that they're trying. If they're trying to charm someone or persuade someone that their viewpoint is right in like a heated situation as it comes up, it's totally a tool that we get to use in improv, and it's a good way to settle disputes and keep the game going. So it's kind of this really innovative thing that goes back to wargaming, which was invented a long time ago, I don't know, 1700s, 1800s, in Prussia, where the Prussian generals would simulate warfare using miniatures on a tabletop. And it was a way for them to train and learn battle tactics, and generally they would have a judge who was like a very talented soldier, very experienced, who could kind of adjudicate how effective their moves would be with their troops. And then the dice would be used to randomize things like, say, a bullet volley going into an enemy line, for example. How many, given the accuracy of, say, a musket, like how many people is it likely to kill, wound, or miss in a given scenario. Very grateful that we don't have to be in war right now. I am not being called out. This is a fun way to simulate it. Creates really dramatic situations and also lets people play out. One of the good things about D&D is you can play in this world where it really is just fantasy. It is just whatever you desire, or who you want to be, and you get it's very enabling too, because these characters that we create have all this power. They're like versions of ourselves that are uber capable in this kind of fantasy thing. So it's very kind of empowering to play and to experience, especially in a good group, where you kind of get to feel a little bit like a god, or like a hero who kind of has all of these natural abilities. And the hope is that it unlocks that in the player too, and then the player starts to feel a sense of confidence and can go forth and really explore in the story, which also opens up the dungeon master to come up with some bigger challenges and problems. It's definitely a game about growth in a big way. So the more that your character kind of levels up and gains experience, and then you gain experience playing that character, you learn their spells, you learn their abilities, and you learn how to use them, especially given your strengths and weaknesses. It can be a really kind of fulfilling tool, both for storytelling and for personal growth, and sort of a kind of removed sort of way from real life, where it's easier to make some progress, and then hopefully, the confidence that one gains there will spill over in one way or the other. So that's part of my philosophy for D&D, and I'd love to share that with all you guys. And I want you, because I want to see you succeed. I want you to feel really powerful while you go about your daily lives, because you are really powerful, and it's amazing the potential that's probably out there for you. So Dungeons and Dragons is just one way to explore that in a world where there's not going to be a ton of consequences and where you really don't have to beat yourself up for failure because nobody is really going to get hurt. So yeah, so that is part of my philosophy that I want to share with you guys. And if that's, I really hope that lands and that you feel like yeah, I do want to be, this amazing person, or like how I really see myself is like a hero or a lover, or like someone who's deeply in touch with the infinite chaos, or someone who can learn anything, who is just so capable with their hands, or really good at pulling people up, really good at enforcing people, really good at standing up for people, really good at being the guy or girl who steps out in front and says, like, you don't mess with my friends, who knows how to stand up for what they believe in, against these kind of mythological forces, which in a lot of ways represent, like, whatever's going on the inside. D&D is definitely, I think, I forget who said it, I think it was Joseph Campbell, who said that, like, myth is the journey of the soul, and that it's like a way of striving. I'll have to find the exact quote because I really like it. So expect that to come up in a future video. So let's talk about dice. I have a lot of them. I think they're really pretty. This is one of them. I got this one actually as a gift from my mother. And it's got this sort of nice blue sheen to it with like it's like a royal, I think is the color scheme. And then it's got the nice painted numbers on there, sort of a beige. So this is 20 sides. This is probably the most commonly one used in Dungeons and Dragons. If you play, I'm sure you're super familiar with that. There's a lot of mojo that goes on around dice, a lot of kind of mysticism, depending on the player. Some people are like, oh, this dice is cursed tonight, like I won't use this one, or like I'm on a roll, I've got to blow on my dice, or like I don't believe in any of that stuff, I always use the same dice, you got to have faith in your dice. So ultimately it's kind of random, and it's sort of a fun way. I don't know exactly what my opinion of that is. I think I just trust the dice. Whatever they come up with is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to roll this one because I love the sound. It's cool. So I have some other cool color scheme ones. This one's called Nightmare. It's similar. It's got the red, though, the red paint, which kind of lends it to a darker hue, and it's mostly deep blue and black, without a lot of sheen on it. Like there's some turquoise patches, like lighter dark blue. For the most part, it's the red and deep blue color scheme. So it's got a very strange tone to it. Very dreamlike. I have a flat red. This is a 6-sided die. You guys probably all recognize this basic dice. And yeah, flat red, looks good, very clear. Good reading, simple, easy to use, and there is something kind of refreshing about it. I think it's a very clear dice. There's nothing going on with this, it's straightforward. So, let's see what else. Ooh, these, I have a whole set here that I can't remember if I bought this for myself or if it was also a gift from my mom. Thanks, Mom. These ones have runic symbols on them, and they're really creepy looking. As you can see, the print on them is very, like, strange looking, and it's got all these weird little runes. And the cool thing about this is if you hold it underneath a light for a little while, they glow in the dark. They don't hold the charge for very long. It's so neat, though. So they're about, like, inner power. Which is pretty fun. This one was also, you might notice the numbers on this. It has like, it's coming up backwards on the thing, but that is a 60, and then that's, I believe, a 40, and then that would be a 50, and then 00. So this is used to determine like a tens digit. So you would roll this one alongside this one, which as you can see is the same shape. They're both 10-sided. And this one will tell you, so for example, 40 and then 2. So 42. So it's a way to get a number between 0, if this comes up 0, and I think this comes up 0. Then it's 0 and 100. It's actually 1 and 100, because I think a 0, 0, 0 technically counts as 100 on the table. It's 1 to 100. Yeah, so that's that. 42. Wow, that's weird. It's 42. I just said that. Mysterious. Let's see. I have some see-through ones. These ones are really tough to read. They look pretty, though. And this one's all kind of glassy. Oh, I have this one. This is a really nice black and gold. I recommend this one. It's a confidence booster. It just looks real sharp. It looks like it's worth $100. It's not. It's worth like $5 for a set. Oh, marble. Really beautiful inlay marble pattern on there. You can't quite tell in this light how it looks exactly. It has very smooth edges, so it tends to roll. It doesn't stop very well on a number. Good for randomizing. If you're really concerned with, oh my god, my dice keeps on landing on the same number and I can't tell if it's how I'm rolling it, get one with very smooth edges and it will roll more. So this one is pretty cute. I like the marble. Looks very regal. Looks very profound. Looks like it cost a lot also. It didn't. Let's see. Oh, another clear one that I have is this clear white one. This is hands down the hardest one to read. If I roll this, even if it's right in front of me, I can't usually see it. So it's cool though. It's like glass. So there's that. And then, sorry, I have a cold. Let's see. Last but not least, I have a whole pile of these super tiny little 6-sided dice, which, if for any reason I need to roll a bunch of 6-sided dice, I can totally do that. And sometimes it comes up in the rules that I have to roll a bunch of 6-sided dice, or like I'm like, how many people are in this, town, whatever, or bar. Like I could roll like 6-sided dice and be like, all right, that's how big the crowd is tonight. If I don't want to make that up myself, it's a way for me to kind of hand over the reins to fate. It's a very play-by-play basis when you do that as a dungeon master. It's great for indecision. If I'm like, oh, I don't know, what do I do? Purple unicorns. There's fire. It's called the bar's called the Purple Unicorn, and the bartender has a limp, and he looks like he loves you. And there's 5 people in the bar. And then the situation happens from there. Usually, what the great thing is that we're all sharing this story together. And we're all playing together. So yeah, you would get to pop off on that and make something happen. And it's my job to react. So those are all the different designs that I have on my main dice that I have full sets of. I think I have a couple over here that I didn't have complete sets of. Oh yeah, I have a yellow, very similar to the red that I showed earlier. Really clear, really easy to read. I like this one a lot also. I might put it in my bag right now, actually, just for fun. And then, this one is a little word of warning to you all. You might see these ones out there. They look really nice. They're kind of heavy. And they have a really good texture. The problem with this is that the numbers are not randomized. It's actually a countdown dice. So 19, 18, 17, 16, and then 16 rolls to 15. Oops, camera angles. 14, 13, 12, oop, 11 is right there. So all the numbers are adjacent to each other. I don't know where 10 is. Anyway, so there's 10. So it's used to kind of keep track. It's not as good, though, for the randomized rolling. It tends to produce similar results. Yeah, well, whatever. So yeah, that's it. I have not been DMing in a little while. I had a great experience today, though, with a friend of mine who is a character, and he's also a terrific actor. And he was talking to me about how he wants his character, the things that are happening in his real life, spiritually, his taking ownership of his life and exploring like chaos, and his theory of acting, which is very complicated and really well refined, and is based on a couple different techniques, Yatmongren and Meisner. He wants to integrate that into his character's philosophy, which is pretty exciting, because his character is a magic user and is in touch with like the supernatural forces of the world. Very intuitive, which is very similar to the acting technique. And it's weird how when we pick characters that they just sort of fit. Like they just, I don't know, especially new players, they just have this, it's like a child almost, like they just know who they are. And his sorcerer is also a chaos sorcerer, which means that he taps into the unknown and into forces that he doesn't fully understand out in the world. And just because he doesn't understand them doesn't mean he doesn't use them. So a lot of his abilities are based on like throwing himself into situations and channeling like kind of the emotional center of anyone. So it's awesome to see his acting theory coming together in his work, and I try to do that with a lot of my characters. I have a bard who is a romantic, which it's got me pegged pretty well, and he has all these songs that he plays, and I have this playlist of music for him, and whenever I listen to it, I just go off into this dream world where I can see him and I can be him. And I've seen he exists like out there in the real world too with my friends, and then also I just see his archetype in plays and TV shows of this sort of like dreamer. So I definitely encourage you, if you're looking at who is my character, really, take a slightly deeper look at it and see if there's an element of your own life that will bring this character more to life. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish you all power and strength in your gaming, the ability to conquer the challenges that life throw at you and your dungeon master throws at you. And thanks for watching. Bye.